This is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the sequel to Final Fantasy VII Remake and the second installment of a three-part trilogy that plans to finish the reimagining of the original Final Fantasy VII. I never played the original Final Fantasy VII, but I did play the remake and got the Platinum for that game, and I was really excited for this game to come out. The Platinum trophy for this game was quite enjoyable all the way up until the later chapters and endgame content, and having to listen to Chadley all game was not my favorite thing in the world. It took around 150 hours to complete everything we needed for the Platinum, and the game was fun overall. I also want to say that my recording in Chapter 2 is kind of stuttery, so I apologize for that, but it's only in Chapter 2 and fixes after that. But now we can start the game. So we start the game in an alternate reality where Zack is alive. And Zack sees Aerith being captured by Shinra, so he decides to chase down this helicopter to try and save her. The helicopter crashes, and once we reach the crash site, we fight some Shinra enemies. After we take them all out, we get Aerith to safety, and while Zack is holding her, this white materia falls out of her hair. I'm not too sure what it is, I never played the original, so I had no idea what it was. But for now, we return to the main reality where Cloud is explaining to the rest of the group his history with Sephiroth in this flashback sequence. And in this flashback sequence, we arrive in Nibelheim to check on the local reactor. While we're at the village, we meet Xander, who I'm sure will live a long and fulfilling life. We also meet Zangens, Tifa's teacher, do some stretches, check in on Cloud's mom, go to Tifa's house, go through her belongings,
You asshole!
and shred up the piano. Now we can head to the reactor with Tifa to guide us there, and on our way there we will finally obtain our first couple of trophies. Starting with this one, we're going to come across our first group of enemies and stagger one of them, and we get the trophy Staggered Learning. Right after this, we're going to get another trophy for winning our first battle, I Got This. Shortly after those two trophies, we're going to come across some more enemies, and we're going to get another trophy for using our limit break for the first time, Break It Down. Now we can continue heading to the reactor, and while we're on this bridge, it gets struck by lightning, causing everyone to fall into the river below it. At the bottom, Cloud manages to save one of these Shinra troopers, but the other one sadly passes away. And once we get to land, Sephiroth is going to join the party, which is going to allow us to unlock another trophy. So once we get into battle with him, we can see in the bottom left, when we hold R1, we can perform a synergy skill by pressing a corresponding button. Just perform that move and we get the trophy Team Player. Shortly after that trophy, we're going to come across another enemy where we apply Assess to it so we can learn its elemental weakness. All we have to do for this trophy is just apply that elemental weakness and we get the trophy Exploitative Practices. Now later in the chapter, we come across a giant cave here, and in this cave we're going to fight a boss enemy, and we're going to collect a couple trophies here too. Starting with this one, Cloud's going to get grabbed by this enemy. All we have to do is break him free and we will get the trophy Unfettered Friendship. Now later in the fight, this monster's going to jump on this Mako thing, and in the bottom right we can see that we have these charges underneath our ATB bar, and once we get 3 of those for expending ATB bars, we can perform a synergy ability, and performing our first one will give us the trophy No Eye in Synergy. Now at this point, there's no more trophies for the chapters. We just keep going with the story and make it to the reactor where Sephiroth begins to go crazy because he reads that he was created from Genova, who's an ancient, and at this point he decides to burn the village, killing Cloud's mom and all the villagers. But wait, no! Not Xander! He was gonna live a long and fulfilling life! After Xander's brutal death, Cloud goes to confront Sephiroth at the reactor, but sees Tifa already there lying beside her slain dad. So she tries to attack Sephiroth, but unfortunately gets slashed. Cloud seems to think that she died here, but obviously she didn't, and Cloud is just not remembering things correctly due to his soldier treatment. So he lays Tifa down and goes to confront Sephiroth, but we don't get to see what happens because that's all Cloud remembers. At this point, Tifa is pretty confused because, as far as she knows, Cloud was never there in Nibelheim when those events happened. So she decides to talk to him about it, and on the way to the rooftop, Sephiroth intervenes and says that she's not the real one because he killed her trying to mess with Cloud. So they talk about it, but they don't come to a conclusion, so they both go to bed and we end the chapter and get the trophy Never Meet Your Heroes. In chapter 2 now, we wake up in the city of Calm, and in this city we can get right to our next trophy, and that's going to be playing Queen's Blood. Now, Queen's Blood is the main side game mode in this game, and it's essentially a card battler where you build a deck and you try to get more points than your opponent in a row, and after you win a row, the points will be added to your side at the end. There's 3 people here in Calm, and after we beat 3 of these players, we're gonna raise a rank and get the trophy New Blood. After that, we pick up the story, we climb this clock tower with Aerith, and Shinra begins to invade this city, looking for us. So we shimmy across some rooftops and make our way back to the inn where we meet up with everyone else. And we then head outside the back door into the grasslands, which is our first open area in this game with tons of side stuff to do. But for now, we make our way to the main marker, and on our way there, we unlock another trophy. So for each weapon, there is an ability tied to it, and to master this ability, we need to keep using it or complete a proficiency bonus such as staggering an enemy. And for this trophy, we master our first ability and we get the trophy Weapons 101. Also on the way, we pick up another trophy for collecting all the chests inside this cache area, and we get the trophy Cashing In. Now making it to the main marker, we reach this lake where we need a chocobo to cross, so we head to the ranch nearby where we see Billy, and he tells us that a chocobo is on the loose that we need to capture so we can use it. So we capture it and we bring it back to him, and just as we are about to head out to the lake, we run into Chadley. And he tells us that there's a tower nearby that can unlock data for the whole region. So we head to it and it unlocks a whole bunch of different points of interest on the map. But before we start those, we're going to get our first collectible, which is to beat this race in the fastest time. The collectibles will give us trophies for reaching certain thresholds, so we need to collect all of them. But after that, we tackle our first side job. Side jobs are basically just side quests that give skill points and build affection points for each companion. But each chapter, we're going to unlock a new side quest, and we want to make sure to complete all of them for a trophy later on. But for now, we're going to finish our first one and claim the trophy, entering new markets for doing so. Now we can focus on the data. It's extremely important that we acquire all the data in a region because it of course will give us trophies, but will also allow us to purchase powerful materia in Chadley's shop that will help us in the endgame, and also give us a trophy later on for purchasing all of them. So each of these data points are pretty simple and are mostly just busy work. So we have the livestream data, which is a mini game to scan the crystals to gain info about the region. Summon data, which is also just a mini game where we can strengthen our summon materia. Then we have the Moogle data where we can help catch different Moogles for the Moogle merchant. And the most important one, which is the combat data, because during these combat encounters we need to assess the enemies as well as every other enemy in this region to gain access to different challenges inside of Chadley's combat simulator, which I'll come back to later. There's also these dig sites where you can dig stuff up with your chocobo to craft better armor. And the last type of data is the proto-relic data, which is essentially a longer side quest that takes place over 4 different missions. And after completing all 4, you will obtain the proto-relic and a cutscene of this forearm dude. And after that cutscene, you will get a trophy, Founder's Bonus, for completing the proto-relic data in the grasslands. And after we complete 5 types of data, we will get the trophy Intelligence Aid. We will also get a trophy for completing all of the data in a region, Director of Regional Intelligence. Now while we're out and about collecting all this data, we will come across these little chocobo stops that these baby chocobos will lead us to. They act as like fast travel points. But after we activate 2 of them, we get the trophy I Break for chocobos. Also, while exploring the region, we will come across these areas where our chocobo can dig something up. After we dig up 2 of these items, we will get the trophy Expert Excavator. And on the topic of digging something up with our chocobo, in each region there's going to be something that our chocobo needs to dig up, which is a collectible that we need for the collectible trophy later on. So right here we're going to pick up a Play Arts piece, which is a collectible. Now that we've finished all the regional data as well as obtained all the extra trophies, we can finish up the side quests for this region, and after we do that we can head to Chadley's Combat Simulator. Now Chadley's Combat Simulator is pretty easy until the endgame stuff. For now it's just going to give you enemies based off the enemies you already fought in this region. And in this Combat Simulator we're going to pick up a couple of trophies. The first one we're going to get is for leveling up an Orb of Materia, a Materia world. After that we're going to be fighting Titan, which is the summon for this region. And after we beat him, we're going to get the trophy You Work For Me Now for obtaining our first summon materia. Now that we finished all of that stuff in that region, we can just continue going with the story. We come across this snake thing, and after we defeat it, it grabs Cloud and takes him underwater, but Sephiroth swoops in to save him and absolutely murder the snake. After that, we get the trophy Swampy Situation for completing the second chapter. In chapter 3 now, we follow these rogue guys through some mines. And this chapter is linear, so no side quests or anything. Midway through, as we look for a way out, the group comes across some Turks who are here for unknown reasons. We see Rude from the last game and a new Turk, Elena, who is filling in for Reno. We fight them until Sung shows up to tell us that if we stay out of their way, they'll stay out of ours. And while Sung is talking, Elena cooks up a grenade and kicks it at the group, and we all get split up. Now we have a Barrett and Red section here where we are trying to reach the others. Down here we climb trees, shoot rocks, fight some enemies, push some minecarts, and shoot more rocks until we meet up with the others who need help getting across this ravine. So we push a minecart into this container to make them a bridge, and as we make our way out, we fight a boss. Once it is defeated, we finally group up and make our way outside to end the chapter and give us the trophy, Make Mine Black. Now in chapter 4, we unlock a new region, which is the region of Junon with all the data and side quests to do, but for now we're going to progress the main story because not all of the map has been unlocked yet. So we arrive in Under Junon, and as we are about to sleep for the night, we get interrupted by a cry for help, and that person in trouble is Yuffie from the last game, who is getting attacked by this snake dragon thing. So Cloud's group decides to fend off this dragon thing to protect everyone, and after we defeat this thing, we rush over to Yuffie to give her CPR, but she doesn't need it. After she gets up, she recognizes that we are the Avalanche Splinter Cell that she learned about in the last game that she wanted to join, or rather us join her, but she says farewell for now, and we head back to the inn to get some sleep. The next day, Yuffie gathers everyone to tell them that the president will be arriving right above them in Upper Junon for a parade, and that she plans to assassinate him. And that is as far as we go into the story for now, because we have the whole region to clean up. We start by grabbing our chocobo that can walk up walls. Then we can activate the towers to begin unlocking the data for the region, and just like the last region, there is livestream data as well as summon data, but for this region it is Joshua. We also have the combat data, making sure to assess all these enemies, as well as the Moogle data, and after completing 50 data points we will get the trophy Intelligence Specialist. While we're out and about, we also have to pick up our collectible for this region, and we get the Playard Sweeper piece. Now the Proto-Relic data for this region is the Fort Condor minigame that we saw in the last game. If you've never seen it before, basically all the troops here have weaknesses, and you want to play your troops so that they always counter the opponents. And your goal is to just take out the enemy towers, and doing so will give you the win. The only other game I've really played like it is like Clash Royale, the mobile game, which isn't exactly like it, but it's awfully close to it, so maybe that'll help you, I don't know. But there are 4 of these boards that are around the world that we need to complete and win. And after we do win, we will get the Proto-Relic and watch another cutscene of this forearm dude, who I thought we were gonna fight here, but he just runs off. And after that cutscene, we get the trophy Fort Condor Commander for completing the Proto-Relic data in the Junon region. Now after we get that trophy, it's going to unlock hard mode for Fort Condor. We just have to go back to each 4 of those boards and play it on hard mode to earn a collectible for a trophy later on. Now that we've cleared all the data for the region, we can tackle all of the side quests. Now none of them are important except this frog one here where we can earn a collectible. So to get this collectible, we have to beat the best time in this mini game, which was 1 minute and 20 seconds, and for the life of me, I could not do this stupid game. It took me like 3 hours to beat it. I was raging so hard because the platforms would fall and I just couldn't time it right, and I would always fail at like the minute mark. I was getting so salty. But like I said, after the 3-hour mark, I finally beat it, and I just barely beat it too. I hit it as I was falling off. But now that we beat it, we can finish up the rest of the region by cleaning up the Queensbud players. And after playing everyone in Junon, we are going to raise another rank, and then Chadley's going to give us a call and tell us that there is a high level player in the Junon area. We go play him, who's just a regular dude. After we play him, we're going to unlock a cutscene of the creator of the game who's like gone crazy or something. And that's all the Queensbud players in the Junon area, and after we beat them, we can go to this piano in the Junon area and talk to this dude who's going to tell us to get an A rank or better in all of the piano pieces that we find throughout our journey. And of course, getting an A or better on all these pieces will give us a trophy later on. Now the last thing we have to do in the Junon region is clean up the combat simulator, and it's just like the last region where we just fight the same enemies that were in that region. And this time we fight Phoenix, who was much harder to me than Titan was, but Tifa bailed me out by using her limit to finish the fight. Now that absolutely everything is done for the Junon region, we can head topside to see the president of Shinra. So the group makes it inside and Cloud comes up with the idea to infiltrate the parade by acting like they are part of the performance. So we dress up and get stopped by this commander lady who wants to test us, but after we prove we can perform, she makes us captain to lead the 7th Infantry for the upcoming parade. Now we can go topside, and up here we are tasked with finding infantry groups to fill our team for the parade's performance. To continue with the story, we're only going to need 5 infantry groups, but to get 2 trophies, we're going to need to find all 10 of these groups, which are scattered throughout this topside area.
Drink, sir. Can't wait, sir.
These groups are relatively easy to find, and after we find all 10 groups, we'll get the trophy 7th Assemble. Now that we have gathered all 10 infantry groups, we can head to the commander to begin our performance, and when we talk to her, we are given the opportunity to change the parade formations. To get a trophy here, we want to choose a formation that will give all performances a 3-star difficulty. And after we've done that, we give our team a prep speech and begin our performance. So the performance is a giant mini game where we have to input a button at the correct time. And while we're doing this, we want to make sure we are doing the best that we can. We don't have to do it perfectly, so we do have a little breathing room, but we want to do good enough so we can get a good score to pick up the trophy. And the score we are trying to reach is above 100,000, so reaching that score will give our team the win and give us the trophy, stealing the show. After winning, we get called up for accommodation, but really, the president wants to tell us that he knew we were here the whole time. Also that he wants us to stay away from Midgar, and in return, he will stay out of our way. But while this conversation is happening, we switch to Yuffie, who is trying to get revenge for Shinra killing Sonon in the last game, so she chucks her shuriken at the president, but Heidegger jumps in to save him. Now the president thinks we were trying to kill him, so he calls off the deal, and we remain enemies. So now we are trying to escape this area, and as we are leaving, the 7th Infantry from the parade decide to help Cloud because he was their captain, which is awfully nice of them. Making our way out of here, we have 5 Shinra infantrymen that will be accompanying us for these upcoming battles. They all have health bars, as we can see here in the bottom right, and what we need to do is keep all 5 of them alive to earn a collectible. After each battle, we make sure to manually save, that way we ensure that they stay alive, and we can also heal them, which doesn't make this too difficult to keep them up. We keep moving until we get to this Roche boss fight, and after we take him out, we will earn the collectible. After earning that collectible, we say farewell to the 7th Infantry and meet up with the rest of the group as we make our way onto this cruise ship to escape from Junon. That ends the chapter and we get the trophy, the President's Commendation. Now in Chapter 5, which is similar to Chapter 3 in that it is a linear chapter with no side quests or anything like that. Aboard the ship, we hear that there is a Queen's Blood tournament that will be happening as everyone makes their way to Costa del Sol. So everyone in the group decides to join this tournament, but Red cannot since he is an animal. After everyone joins, we are going to play in a tournament, and while we play these matches, we want to make sure that we do not lose to anyone, because winning all 5 rounds will give us a trophy. You can play whoever you want to, but if you're curious, I decided to play this guy, Tifa, Madam M, and of course we absolutely had to destroy Chadley.
Let's throw down, as they say.
And Regina, who the game forces you to play. Then out of nowhere, Red comes out in his Shinra costume, because he wants to play Queen's Blood. And after beating Red, we get a literal trophy and a digital trophy, Card Royalty. After the tournament is over, we all head to sleep for the night, and while we are sleeping, the ship gets attacked by Hojo's creations. We start taking all of them out, and midway through this encounter, these robe dudes kind of like merge in this central area, and they touch like this leg piece. I don't know what it is, but once they touch it, they summon Sephiroth, who then summons Genova. So now we have this Genova boss fight, and after we beat this boss, Sephiroth once again tells Cloud not to trust Tifa because she isn't the real Tifa or whatever. And after a few more cutscenes, we will arrive in Costa del Sol and pick up the trophy Cryptic Cameo for completing Chapter 5. Now we're in Chapter 6 and have another linear chapter here as we check out the beach. We stop at Johnny's hotel, and then Cloud and Barrett check things out first while Tifa, Red, and Aerith are chilling at the hotel. So while we are playing as Cloud, we come across another minigame where we have to obtain the max score to earn a collectible. This is a shooting minigame and it was incredibly easy compared to the stupid frog game. There's also a Queen's Blood kiosk where it's more like a puzzle, like instead of the actual match. So they only give you like a few cards and you have to play them all correctly. And we want to complete all of the challenges in the kiosk to earn another collectible. After we finish those two things up, we change into our beach wear and head down to the beach. Now we return to the others and we see this orb thing that Aerith has, which I still think is like a materia or something. It's the same thing like the one in the beginning with Zack, but here it's clear. I had no clue what it is or what it does, so maybe somebody can tell me what it does in the comments. But moving on, we head out to the beach with Tifa and Red.
Guide me, oh Tifa.
Got a real good selection today.
Come, my child.
Now while we're exploring with Tifa's group, we come across another minigame where we play soccer with Red, and we just have to eliminate all the other teams by scoring 5 goals on them quick enough to grab the collectible. We also come across another piano, making sure to get an A rank or better. Now we can change into our beach clothes and meet up with Cloud and Barrett.
Something wrong?
No, nothing.
And now Professor Hojo shows up because there is like these rogue guys that he wants to get some data on or something. And he calls this robot thing to collect them. We go out and try and stop him from grabbing these dudes and almost get captured ourselves until Yuffie comes to save the day. We defeat the robot thing and Hojo just literally walks away. After that we head back to the inn, and the next morning Yuffie gives us a whole presentation as to why she wants to join us.
Cool.
She joins the party and we end the chapter and get the trophy Fun in the Sun. So in chapter 7 now, we unlock a whole nother region with all of the data, side quests, and Queensmud players. But for now, we are going to continue with the story, mainly because the whole map cannot be accessed yet until chapter 9. So now we start to climb this mountain that leads to Barrett's hometown. We keep climbing and come across the Turks, who are letting some robe dubes off for some random reason. They call in a robot to attack us, and now we get into a boss fight. After we take down that robot, we get a cutscene of Zack's reality where he's trying to take care of the Cloud and Aerith in that reality. We see the white orb again, which still puzzled me, but at the end of the cutscene we see Zack look up at the sky and he sees like this tear, which I think is just showing that he's in a different reality, but I'm not really sure on that one. Now we keep following these robe dudes and we come across a broken reactor and see a weapon, which is basically a guardian of the planet and only come out when the planet is in danger. Keep following the path until we come across these robe guys diving into water, and Cloud begins to do the same thing. So everyone thinks it's best that he takes a rest, and we have a little Yuffie section here where we use a grappling hook, do some climbing, fight some enemies, smash some crates, and fight a boss to rescue the one and only
Cloud Jr.
At this point, Cloud is good to go, and he helps Barrett and Yuffie fix the track so they can ride a minecart down, and at the bottom we all link up and say goodbye to Cloud Jr. Now we head into Barrett's hometown where the villagers don't take kindly to him because in a flashback scene we see he made a deal with Shinra to let them build a reactor in exchange for some money, but when the reactor blew up, Shinra just attacked the village, and so now they blame Barrett. Inside the village we come across a piano, and after getting an A rank we make our way through there and head up to the golden saucer to check it out since it's just up this lift thing. While we are riding up there we will end the chapter and get the trophy, the Price of Progress. In chapter 8 now we head to the golden saucer, which is like an amusement park following these road guys, and at the saucer we meet Dio, who is the owner I guess of this place. After meeting him, Cloud and Barrett head to a hotel while everyone else goes off on their own. At this hotel we meet this cat robot thing named Kate Sith, and he wants to help us out for some reason, but we ignore him for now and head to sleep and get another cutscene of Zack, who sets out to find Biggs in that reality. But now when we wake up we go out for a date with one of our companions. Mine was Tifa, like who else is it gonna be? But before checking out the saucer with Tifa, we see a cutscene of Barrett who chases this robe dude with a gun. But now we can check out the saucer, and while we are walking around with Tifa, we are going to be entering minigame mode. There are quite a lot of minigames here, and just like the previous minigames, we need to hit the best score and complete all of them to be able to earn collectibles and purchase some later with gold saucer points. So we're going to start with the 3D brawler minigame where you need to dodge the enemy's attacks and punish them after they miss. Doing so will charge your limit, and once that is full we pop it to win the match. So we take out all 3 opponents and move on to the bike minigame, in which you need to defeat Shinra enemies while avoiding damage and racing to the finish line. We beat the best score here and move on to another Queen's Blood kiosk, which is more puzzles like the last kiosk we went to. We finish all of those and we move to the Galactic Savior minigame, where we defeat some aliens and spaceships, making sure to take out all of the enemies and dodge their attacks to obtain the best score. After saving the galaxy, we can move to the battle arena and take on a couple 2-person team challenges. During these fights, I accidentally used a summon instead of my limit and picked up the trophy Fledgling Summoner for using our summon for the first time. After completing all of those battles, we pick up a collectible and have completed all of the minigames in the saucer at the current time. So now we head to the Skywheel to ride it with Tifa, but are interrupted because there has been a shooting at the saucer and we see Barret still chasing this dude. So we chase after Barret and follow the trail with the help of Kate Sith to below the saucer, and down here we get knocked out by some gang. When we awake, we meet this Gus guy who wants to help Cloud win him a chocobo race so he can get rich. Cloud agrees so that he can earn the group's freedom and learn the whereabouts as to where Barret is. While we are down here in this area, we also come across another minigame where we smash boxes to earn points. We just barely are able to grab the best score and the collectible. We also fight in this arena down here to earn another collectible. Now after completing those two things, we can get ready for our chocobo race. Now the race mechanics are just like you would see in Mario Kart with the drift and power-up boosts. After winning first place, we gain the group's freedom and learn Barret's whereabouts. The Turks are also out here looking for us.
Or better yet, ice cream!
Is vanilla
No
okay?
vanilla.
We catch up to Barret and get another flashback of Shinra attacking his home. He tries to save his best friend dying here, but he falls into a ravine, leading Barret to believe he died. In the present day, that's who he's been chasing this whole time, and Barret tries to help him out here, but he is mentally ill, so we have a boss fight. After we defeat him, we see he is actually Marlene's father, which is crazy to me because I actually thought it was Barret. But he makes his last stand against some Shinra troops and dies in Barret's arms. We cut to the Turks and have another boss fight here with Palmer, who's like a Shinra higher up guy. And after we defeat him, Dio gives us the buggy, which now gives us full access to the full region of Corel. But before we can use it, we cut to another cutscene of Zack where he ends up finding Biggs. That finishes the chapter and we get the trophy worth the wait. So now in chapter 9, right away Kate Sith joins the party.
No, 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 no. Yum, 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 yum.
We also have full access for this whole region, so now we can clean up all of these side quests, the data, the Queen's Blood players. A few side quests of note are the Tifa Crunches side quest, in which we unlock a minigame to earn a collectible for beating all the opponents there, and the Johnny side quest, which will unlock the whole reason as to why we are earning these collectibles, his refurbished hotel.
Welcome to Johnny Seaside Inn Remake!
Completing this quest will give us the collectible collection, where we can track and see how many there are, in which there are 88 of them. Right away we'll get a trophy 1-star startup for already owning 10 plus collectibles. Now that we knocked out the side quests for the region, we can clean up the Queen's Blood players for the region. We play another high rank player, and once we defeat him, we watch another cutscene where the creator is still acting all crazy. After we defeat all of them, we clean up all of the regional data, which is the same as the other regions. We have livestream, summon materia, which is Alexander for this region, combat, making sure to assess all of the enemies, Moogle, and the Chocobo dig sites. We also pick up the collectible for the region, which is another play arts piece. Now the proto-relic data can't be accessed until chapter 12, so we'll come back then to complete it. After we finish everything in the region, we can head to Chadley to buy his materia and take on his combat simulator. This time we fight Alexander, which is by far the easiest one so far. Doesn't put up any fight, and Aerith just spams the lightning spells. After we finish that up, we continue with the story and we arrive in Gongaga, which is Zack's hometown. Upon reaching the main village, we say what's up to Cisne and meet Zack's parents, to which Cloud has trouble remembering Zack. Now we head to the reactor because there are whispers and a weapon is crying out for help. The ladies stay behind while the boys head straight for the reactor. While we're there, Sephiroth is trying to control Cloud, and midway through Scarlet shows up to steal the weapon and drops a boss on us. During this battle, Cloud starts to get weak-minded due to all the Mako, but we are still able to defeat the boss. After we defeat it, we cut to the ladies who rush over to the reactor because they notice Shinra is there, and once we get there we have a Scarlet boss fight. We defeat her and Tifa gets into trouble. Cloud notices this and tries to go save her, but Sephiroth gets control of Cloud and makes him attack Tifa, which makes her fall into the Mako below, and a weapon swallows her. Cloud now seems to realize what he did. Now she's in the live stream and sees memories with Cloud and all of the Whispers fighting. Barret knocks some sense into Cloud, and she gets released from the weapon. Later, Cloud feels bad, but they make up, and our next goal is to head to Cosmo Canyon where Red grew up, but we have to clean up all of the Gongaga region first, so we start with these side quests. Nothing of note here, just to gotta complete them. After we finish those, we take out the Queen's Blood players for the region. After finishing them, we can tackle the data, and you must know them all by now. Livestream, Summon Materia with Kujata for this region. Combat, remembering to assess all of them. Moogle and Chocobo digging. We also dig up the collectible, and now we complete the Proto-Relic data. For Gongaga, it's like a Turk training simulator, which is just a combat sim just like Chadley's. After completing 4 of those simulators, we obtain the Proto-Relic and watch a cutscene of this forearm guy again, and obtain the trophy Honorary Turk for completing the Proto-Relic in the Gongaga region. Now we can head to Chadley to buy all of his stuff and take on the combat simulator where we fight Kujata, which is one of the easier summons to fight. But after we defeat him and have cleaned up the region, we can head to Cosmo Canyon. So we head to the airstrip and call in a plane. We meet Sid, who will be our pilot for the rest of the game, and on our way to Cosmo Canyon we pick up the trophy Crying Out for completing Chapter 9. When we land, we make our way to the village Red grew up in, and turns out he's a kid, which definitely surprised me.
Hey, guys! It's me! I'm back!
While we're here, we meet Bugenhagen, who kind of raised Nanaki, which is Red's actual name. We learn some planetology stuff from him, and later we enjoy the River of Light ceremony. After the ceremony, Bugenhagen wants Nanaki to take part in a trial to become a Watcher, which is like a protector or something, and he chooses Barret to go with him. So we have a Barret and Nanaki section here where we take out enemies, run up walls, return statues to their pedestals, open some doors, and fight a really cool looking boss. After we defeat this boss, Red mourns his father since he sacrificed himself to save his village, and we reunite with the rest of the group and get summoned by the Gi. Before we learn about them and what they want, we get a cutscene of Zack and Biggs where they talk about how they got to live. Basically, just before they were about to die, the Whispers warped them into the reality that they are currently in. After that, we return to the group and begin to learn about the Gi, who are essentially immortal because they cannot enter the live stream when they die since they came from a different world or whatever. They ask us to obtain the Black Materia, which will summon a meteor and destroy the planet, but the group does not know this as of now. Sephiroth also wants this materia for whatever reason, so the group tries to look for it first, and Kate thinks we can find out more in Nibelheim. But before we head there, you know the drill, we have a whole region to complete. First, we're going to start with the Queen's Blood players, clearing out everyone in the Cosmo Canyon region, and raise another rank to play another high rank player, and receive another cutscene with this dude still going crazy about some card. And after defeating him, we can play another high rank player who is Regina from Chapter 5. Once again, after winning, we'll get another cutscene of this card that's the Shadow Blood Queen, which is evil somehow. But a card that can counter it is the Emerald Witch, which we're gonna get obtained later. But anyways, after finishing up the Queen's Blood, we can play the piano in the village, making sure to get the A rank. After finishing up the piano, we can head to the side quest for the region. None of them are important except for this one with Yuffie, because we unlock a mini game where we glide through these rings to get points, and let me tell you, this one is almost as bad as that stupid frog one for me. I was raging at this one too because completing the first 2 challenges was not hard at all, but the third one had these moving targets and this final jump that I could never get enough height for. I would always miss the last 500 by like a millimeter, and it was pissing me off so much, mainly because it was at the very end and it took like 2 minutes to reach that point. So after like an hour and a half, I looked it up and cheesed it by flying backwards to hit the lift again to get as much height as I could, and finally beat it, picking up the collectible. Now we can clean up the data, and of course, just like the other regions, there's livestream, summon materia, which is Bahamut for this region, combat, making sure to of course assess, Moogle, and the one where we dig up stuff. While we're completing these, we also pick up the collectible, which is another play arts piece. Now we move on to the Proto-Relic data, in which we talk to Avalanche and play Gambit and Gears. which is essentially a mini game where we have to defeat this boss in the center by placing these elemental robots all around the arena while keeping track of the elemental weaknesses. And just like the other proto relics, there are 4 of these, and once we complete all 4 we will get the proto relic and a cutscene of this guy again, and we actually get to fight him this time, but he's super easy, and after we beat him we get the trophy Gambit paid off for completing the proto relic in the Cosmo Canyon region. After that, it will unlock a hard mode for the robot game, so once we beat that, we will get a collectible. Now we can head to Chadley to purchase his materia and complete the combat simulator in which we fight Bahamut Arisen, which is one of the harder ones to fight since he has a one-shot if you don't beat him quick enough. After all that, we can head to Nibelheim, and on the way there we pick up the trophy Stars Fell From My Eyes for completing chapter 10, and once we touch down we zoom straight to the story. We head to the village, which is now rebuilt. Cloud gets his memory back, kinda. Kate needs a keycard to access a terminal, so Cloud, Yuffie, and Tifa make their way there. While we're heading for the keycard, Cloud thinks that Zack was the Shinra trooper from the beginning who died, but that's obviously not the case. We keep going until we reach the reactor where we fight a boss and grab our keycard. Now we switch to Kate and head to Shinra Manor to use that keycard. Inside Shinra Manor, we shoot some hoops, fight some enemies, roll through some vents, fight this mini boss that took me 30 minutes to beat, and arrive at this elevator where we're gonna unlock another collectible. So to grab this collectible, we need to smash 10 of these crates within the time limit. I thought this one was hard because I thought you had to hit all 10 without missing, but the crates keep spawning, so this one was actually not hard at all. We keep going through the manor and Hojo drops a boss on us. And after we defeat this boss, we head into the next room and meet up with the others, where we enter this room and meet Vincent, which is where we use the keycard, but notices we are not the guy who owns the keycard, so he gets mad but cools down once we tell him our foe,
Sephiroth.
But later we enter this room where Cloud was experimented on, and he gets mad, leading him to turn into this beast thing. We get into a boss fight, and once we defeat him, he leaves us alone, and we leave the Shinra Manor and run into Roche, who has been injected with Genova cells to better fight Cloud. But he loses anyway and gets turned into a robe dude. But now we can clean up the Nibelheim region. We start with these side quests. The only side quest of note is the Tifa one, where we play the piano and obtain the A rank, which was our last one. So we return to the dude and get the trophy Piano Virtuoso. Next we clean up the Queensblood players, which there are only 2, so nice and easy for this region. Now we can clean up the data for the region, and this is our last region, thankfully.
I'm tired, boss.
And of course, just like the last regions, we got the live stream, summon materia, which belongs to Odin here, combat, making sure to assess everything, and Moogle. For the Moogle this time, we will be getting a cutscene where Cloud turns into a Moogle.
Kupo? Kupo. 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 Kupo.
And a trophy for completing all of the Moogle huts, Moogle Lover. And we also have the digging data, to which we also grab the collectible for the region, which is yet another Play Arts piece. And reaching 30 collectibles will give us the trophy 3-star hotel. Now we can do the proto-relic data, in which we follow these robe dudes around, and they somehow summon Sephiroth, who then summons the forearm dude. We fight him, and after we defeat him, we get the trophy Professional Handler for obtaining the proto-relic in the Nibel region. After all that, the only thing left to do is to grab the materia from Chadley and complete the challenges, as well as fight Odin, which I believe to be the hardest summon since he's got a lot more going on mechanically than the other bosses. But now with all of that complete in the Nibel region, we can head back to the plane and head to the Golden Saucer for a relic that we need. Before we leave, Vincent joins us because he has a history with Sephiroth, and on our way there we crash and grab the trophy You're Not Murasaki for completing chapter 11. We fix up the plane and turn it into a boat. We dock at Costa del Sol, and in this chapter we're going to have a lot of side content to clean up, but for now we're going to continue with the main story so we can unlock everything. So we head straight to the saucer where we look for Dio because he has the relic that we want. He'll give it to us if we help him defeat Don Corneo's goons. We head to sleep to prepare for this, and we get a cutscene where Zack sets off to find a cure for Cloud. After that cutscene, we come back to Cloud and we get our companion date for this chapter.
Huh?
So I got Tifa, and with her we head to the auditorium to watch a play. And we also get to perform in this play, and during our performance we must get an S rank or better to pick up a trophy, as well as 6 collectibles for getting best actor for each companion, since they also take part in this play. We can't get the 7th collectible from this because Yuffie is not in it, so we'll have to come later in our hard playthrough to grab it. Performance is basically just a quick time event minigame, and just like the parade in chapter 4, we have room for error, so it's not too bad. Once we achieve the S rank and finish the remainder of the play, we will pick up the trophy critically acclaimed for the S rank and 6 collectibles for best actor. After that, we ride the Skywheel with Tifa where they have a little smooch. We then head to the Coliseum where we fight Corneo. Once we beat him, Kate takes the keystone that we need. We then fight the president who tries to hold us back. After we beat him, we see Kate give the keystone to Shinra. He leaves the party, and that's as far as we go for now. So at this point, we've unlocked new side quests for every region. Some of them will unlock certain challenges that will give us collectibles. So there are 4 here that we're going to focus on. To start, there's just going to be this one with Tifa in the underground section with the arena at the bottom. So all we have to do for this is just complete the arena and we will get a collectible. Also, there is this one where we go under Shinra Manor and complete this battle simulator that Hojo made. After beating all the challenges inside that simulator, we'll get 2 collectibles. The next quest is this one with Billy where we win a race for him. After finishing first, we will also get a collectible. And the last quest, which is the one with the Shinra guy, in which we take part in different minigames. But once we finish that quest, we'll pick up the collectible as well as obtain the trophy. My job here is done for completing all of these side quests in the game. After we complete all of the quests in the game, we can finish off the rest of the Queen's Blood players and obtain a collectible for doing so. We take on the creator who wants us to obtain the Emerald Witch card, which Vincent has, so we have to defeat him. Now that we have that card, we can take out the Shadowblood Queen, which Regina has had this whole time. We defeat her, which is actually a pretty hard thing to do. And once we defeat her, we obtain the highest rank, giving us the collectible. After finishing the quests and the Queen's Blood players, we can now tackle the absolute torture that is doing all these mini-games and arena challenges. So most of the mini-games and arenas we have completed so far have unlocked another difficulty level or another challenge. There are a few new mini-games too, so we need to backtrack and clean up all of them and achieve the best scores in all of them to obtain several collectibles. So we're going to start with our old nemesis, but this version was actually way easier to me just because you can move freely and don't have to worry about timing your movements. But we beat the best time here and grabbed the collectible. Next, we're going to play a new minigame, which is this dolphin race, which is actually really simple. Just got to beat the best time and we grab the collectible. Next, we head to the Dust Bowl and clean up the arena down there and pick up a collectible. We also complete the Whack-A-Box challenge, grabbing the best score and collectible. Now we head to the Queen's Blood kiosk in Costa del Sol and clean up all of those to obtain collectibles. Next, we complete the shooting minigame, obtaining the collectible there. We also play the red minigame, scoring all the goals and beating the best time to grab the collectible. Now we do the Chocobo races, which there are a lot of these, and it was like 5 minutes to run. It was actually not fun at all to do these. But we grab the Trophy Hall of Famer for completing all of them and grab a few collectibles. Next, we take on the Space Ranger game and grab the collectible here. After that, we complete the bike minigame and get another collectible. Now we can finish off the Queen's Blood kiosk and the saucer to obtain 2 collectibles. Now we can take on the 3D Brawler and defeat all the opponents in here, which wasn't too hard until Sephiroth because he was really difficult. It took over an hour for me to do this one because you have to like dodge perfectly to finish this fight. But after beating him, we'll get a trophy, Polygonal Prize Fighter, and a collectible. And at this point, we've unlocked 60 collectibles, so we'll pick up the trophy 5-star hotel. There's also going to be new Coliseum challenges, but we can't complete them all until after we beat the game, so we're going to come back later to finish those up. Now that we've finally finished all of those mini-games, we can actually start the Proto-Relic data for the Corel region, where we play yet another mini-game, where we need to destroy these cactars that are guarding this Proto-Relic. Just like the other Proto-Relics, there are 4 of these that we need to beat, and after we beat all of them, we'll get the Proto-Relic and a cutscene of Gilgamesh, which is this forearm dude. After that cutscene, we will unlock the Trophy Cactar Crusher for completing the Proto-Relic in the Corel region, as well as unlock hard mode for these. So once we finish all of those, we're going to get another collectible. Now after finishing the Proto-Relic, there's going to be a camera guy in each region who wants us to take pictures in photo mode. So we do that, nice and simple, and get a collectible for it. Now the last thing we need to do before we finish the game is to complete the Proto-Relic data in the ocean area. So we're going to come across an island and defeat 4 boss fights with the summons that we've already fought previously, but this time they're going to be in pairs, which of course made it harder, but I feel like their HP was really low, so like it was actually pretty easy. But after beating all 3, we're going to unlock a 4th boss fight, which is the Gilgamesh boss fight, and he also wasn't too difficult. He had a ton of HP, but I just had unlimited items, so it kind of made it much easier. It's not like Tifa was the last one who barely beat him or anything, but after beating him, we'll get the trophy Blazement of Legend. Right after that, we can speak to Chadley to purchase the last materia we need for the trophy Materia Completionist. With all of that side stuff finally finished, we can continue the story. So we see Vincent here tracking Shinra to a temple, and that's going to end the chapter and give us the trophy Hearts Out, Dukes Up. The last 2 chapters are linear, so chapter 13 here at the temple, we take out Shinra forces, switch gravity, climb some vines, jump down a waterfall. We also fight a red dragon, which was actually a tough boss fight. After that, we get split up, we swirl the live stream around, push some boxes, and have these epic boss fights with Reno and Rude, as well as Elena and Tsung. After beating them, Cloud starts going crazy under the influence of Sephiroth.
It's not death. It's a homecoming.
Later, we complete actually heartbreaking trials for each companion.
Are you finished?
Nope, because we also learn about the Cetra and Genova, and pick up a trophy for increasing stagger to above 300%, staggering success. After that trophy, we fight a demon wall and arrive at the altar where Cloud tries to take the black materia, which causes the whole place to start collapsing. Kate comes back out of nowhere to sacrifice himself to allow us to escape. Cloud yoinks the materia and everyone makes it out alive while Kate dies, but he's actually fine.
Now that's not a sight you see every day, eh?
Cloud gives Sephiroth the black materia, but comes to his senses when he sees Aerith in trouble and tries to rescue her, but Sephiroth breaks the platform they're standing on and they fall into the depths below, concluding the chapter and getting the trophy I'm Here For You. So in chapter 14, I'm just going to summarize the events to the best of my ability because I don't think I could explain it very well because I'm still a little confused myself. But we awake in the bodies that are in Zack's reality, where Aerith gives us the white materia and sends us back to the main reality, to which we give to Aerith again somehow. And Zack also gets slashed into a white dimension by Sephiroth, back to the main reality where Cloud's like soul or something returns to his body, which was unconscious after saving Aerith. I think that's what happened, but we start looking for Aerith in this forest and come across a place where the ancients or Cetra used in the past. She starts praying to stop the meteor that's gonna get summoned by the black materia, but Sephiroth goes to kill her, but Cloud actually saves her. Nope, just kidding, she actually dies, but maybe he saved her in like a different reality or something. We have a whole boss sequence here with all of our party members, which is actually one of the coolest endings to a game I've played. I love when they all have your companions fight in the final boss together, really cool. But anyways, we fight Genova, and then we see Zack touch Cloud, and they jump into like this dimension together where we fight Sephiroth. It's a cool battle where Zack has like his own movement and abilities, and we also have like synergy skills. But after we defeat him, Zack falls into a different dimension. Then Sephiroth turns into this pregnant monster thing, and everyone battles it across all the realities or worlds or whatever's happening.
What in the hell is going on?
After we defeat the pregnant thing, Aerith comes back to life, or maybe it's like a different Aerith from a different reality, in which we fight Sephiroth for the last time, who I finished with a level 3 limit break for some style points. After all that, we see Zack's just chilling somewhere in a different reality or something. Everyone is grieving Aerith except for Cloud because I guess he thinks he saved her or something. Anyways, Cloud still got the black materia and the game ends with the group traveling to the north. We get the trophy Confluence of Worlds for beating chapter 14. After beating the game, we unlock chapter select and complete all of the chapters on hard difficulty, making sure to pick Yuffie as our companion for the Loveless play to pick up the collectible. After we beat all of those on hard, we get the trophy of Hardy Stock. Now we can head to the Coliseum to pick up a couple trophies and collectibles. So nothing crazy here, we just have to complete these challenges. So during these, I picked up 2 trophies, one for reaching level 70 with a character, grind it out, and another for learning all of the weapon skills, well-rounded. And after completing all of the Coliseum challenges, we'll get the trophy, Are You Not Entertained? After we finish everything inside the saucer, we can head to the shops around there and purchase the rest of the collectibles except one. So the last collectible we get is from completing Chadley's Combat Simulator, which is absolutely, without a doubt, the worst thing in this game. It's not the frog minigame or the gliding chocobo minigame. It's of course Chadley's lame Combat Simulator. There are a lot of these challenges and none of them were really an issue except the last few. The Ruler of the Outer Worlds one where we take on 4 bosses in a row, and then Sephiroth at the end where he just literally one-shots you is absolutely so annoying and lame. I cheesed this one by spamming Yuffie's dodge on an ATB ward while Aerith and Tifa just spammed August spells. Worked like a charm. But the other two, you get Zack and Sephiroth respectively, and they are literally the same thing but 10 bosses, and Odin at the end who can one-shot you. So if you get one-shot, you have to restart all the way at the beginning, and after failing for like 8 hours just to do one of these, I really questioned if I wanted this platinum. But I decided to do it and went through another hour until I finally beat the Zack one. The Sephiroth one was a little bit easier because I already practiced from the Zack one, but it still took 3 hours. And Sephiroth bailed me out at the end, like just barely. I had no MP to raise Cloud and nothing but his limit break, which I staggered the boss with. And I was praying I could do enough damage to him, and I did.
Yes! Come on, baby, give that to me! Sephiroth, baby, came in clutch! Oh my god. No more! No more! F you, Chadley, bro, no more.
We pick up the trophy for completing all of Chadley's Combat Simulator, virtually renowned. And we also pick up the last collectible, which gives us the trophy 7-star hotel. And with that trophy, we have the last trophy we needed to get the platinum trophy, the planet's hope. So that was the platinum for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like I said at the beginning of the video, it was an enjoyable platinum until some of the later things like the Combat Simulator. That was really not fun at all, and some minigames were a bit tedious, but all in all, I thought it was a fun platinum trophy with some of the best graphics, characters, and combat systems. I would give it a 4 out of 10 for my enjoyment. There was just too much side stuff, and by the time I finished the game for the first time, I was already done playing it. But anyways, if you made it to the end of this almost hour-long video, I really appreciate it. I hope you'll leave a like and subscribe, but that of course is not necessary. Thank you for watching, and peace out.